yogis, welcome to this practice with the Echidna. The Echidna is an Australian mammal that resembles a hedgehog. It's not an animal that in the UK we're acquainted with, I guess. But this little mammal is a very gentle, loving creature. It has spines, but they're only used for self-defense and not attack. And the nature of the Echidna teaches us to let go and trust that we are protected, so that we can experience longevity and renewal. And the Echidna also encourages a healing of the heart. It's through knowing that we are protected, knowing that we are strong enough that we can soften inside. We know that we are strong enough to be soft inside. So we begin in a seated position, and just drop your right arm to the floor. As you drop your right arm to the floor, drop your left hip a little and side stretch over to the right, lifting the left arm up in line with the ear. Just feeling a deep stretch along the left side of body, left ribs. It's interesting how we have a rib cage, but our rib cage is there really to protect the delicate and essential structure of the heart. So it's there for protection, not to cage our heart in and close our heart down. Inhale here, exhale, come out. Let's take that same stretch over to the other side. Just letting the rib cage release a little bit so it's a little less of a cage. Respecting this structure as essential protection. Breathing and opening. Inhale here. Exhale. Back to center. Now grab your 2 blocks for supported fish. You guys, I'm going to assume that you guys know this posture. There's 1 block behind the head and 1 block behind the shoulder blades. If the block behind the head is higher than the block behind the shoulder blades, it takes a little bit of the intensity out of the pose, and that is good. We will get several chances to do this pose, so start small. We want to create a shape where we feel we can release from. If we go too far too quick, we kind of go beyond our edge too quick, we put the body in tension. So let the blocks provide you with a feeling of support. And use your breath here for essential maintenance of the essential protective structures of your body. Essential maintenance and healing. Be non-aggressive like the Echidna in your practice. And release deeply into your blocks as best you can. Any of that old holding, any of those patterns of tension and holding in the body, see if you can take some time to drop those now. It's a relatively long hold, so I'm going to just leave you with the signs of the music for a few minutes. Don't think that I've gone away. Just keep breathing and feeling and releasing as best you can. Release the hinge of the jaw. Release the buttocks and the shoulders, these areas of the body that habitually tense up when we're doing. Just allow yourself to just be. Relax. Relax. Just using your breath to clean out any old stagnation in the body. So it's like we're running the breath through the body. It's cleaning out the pipes. And especially cleaning out the area of the rib cage. Special attention to the muscles between your ribs, the intercostal muscles between your ribs. Beautiful. When you're ready now, just in whatever way works, come up off of those blocks or roll off of those blocks. There's no graceful way to do it. And that's okay. And then bring yourself up to a seated position as if you're going to do Navasana or boat pose, which we're not. We're just going to pop the blocks between the thighs and hold the backs of your legs, but let your legs be super strong and let the block between the thighs bring a feeling of stability through the lower body. And then from here, lean back a little through the upper body, relax your shoulders and use the shape to feel an opening of the heart. Just feeling how this lower body supports the opening of the heart. Lower body stability supports our heart to open. And for many of us, the heart opening process can be this experience of fear. It's too much too fast, and we realize through this kind of a practice that there's so many elements to that it can't be rushed. And that we need these quills of protection in order to open the heart. And this is the Echidna magic. This is what the Echidna teaches us. Inhale here, you guys. Exhale, come out of that. And leave the block to one side for a second. Extend both of your legs out and just bend your right knee. So the left leg is extended and we're bending the right knee. And take the foot a little bit away from your left leg once you get there, so you've got room to move. Bring your hands into prayer position at your heart. And then take an inhale here, and as you exhale, take an inhale here, take an exhale here, then inhale, twist towards your bent knee. Exhale back to center. Inhale, twist towards the bent knee. Exhale back to center. And just keep going with this. Moving with your breath. Press through the foot of your raised leg to support this movement. You can also press into the ball of your straight leg to support this movement. And this movement can go at whatever speed it needs to go at. We're just working through the rib cage, trying to allow the rib cage to be more of a protective structure and less of a cage, really. Loosening, moving through the spines, or the spine of the body almost, to get to that soft underbelly. On your next exhale, come back to center. Swap your legs. We'll do the same thing on the other side. As we inhale, we twist. So it's a little bit counter to what I would usually say. Exhale back to center. Inhale, twist towards the bent leg with the hands in prayer. Soften through your shoulders as you do this and strengthen through your legs. Move with your breath. Feel that soft underbelly. Supple. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw. Just feel where the body needs to work, where the body needs to be tough, I suppose, and also where the body can be soft. Stiram Sukham Asanam. Strength and sweetness existing at the same time. On your next exhale, come back to center and then come onto all fours and start to take cat-cow. And then when you're ready, when you take your next cat, come up onto your fingertips. So your looking in towards the belly on your cat, and you're arching your back up. And you're feeling here, as you do this high version of cat, the back door of your heart. It's hard to access usually, we're quite spiny. And soften through the spine. Like the echidna, soften through the spines so you can access that back door. Lovely. And then in your own time, come out of that, bring your hands slightly forward and push up and back to downward facing dog. Just take a moment in your dog, feeling that connection through your hands. Your hands as an extension of your heart. Your arms as an extension of your heart. So we're freeing the heart a little bit through this extension of the arms, the hands, and the fingers all the way to the pads. Beautiful. And then let's walk the feet towards the hands and bring your feet either together or hip width apart is fine. And just take chair pose here. And from chair pose again, bring your hands back to prayer. And we're going to just gently twist, moving with the breath. So begin your twist to your right. Inhale as you twist and exhale back to center. It's a little bit counterintuitive maybe to what some of us are used to. Moving in and out of these twists with breath. On your next exhale back to center, let's swap sides. And we're feeling how the stability through the legs is an essential part of the jigsaw, really, of opening the heart. Just respecting that, we can't crane the heart open, we can't force the heart open. We need to feel strong enough, and we need to feel protected enough. Beautiful. Then exhale back to center and just hang forward in a forward fold. And just feel your heart so vulnerable and sensitive that it is encased in a home for good reason. I remember having an experience of heart opening and saying to my teacher at the time, all I could feel was fear. And she looked at me square in the eye and said, "Do you think it's an easy thing to open your heart?" No, is the answer. We kind of have these misconceptions that heart opening should be this blissful, wonderful experience, but the reality is there's a lot of pain in the heart, there's a lot of fear in the heart, so we need to be gentle when we work with it. Let's come back to dog from here, so just walk your feet back. And this experience in dog, like so many other postures that we work with in yoga, is this experience of having the heart, having the heart above the head and giving our heart priority. Allowing ourselves to feel the intelligence of the heart. And drop down onto your knees, you guys. And come into child's pose. Bringing your palms up in this gesture of receiving. So you can, wherever your hands are, whether they're behind you or in front of you, just lift your palms towards the ceiling. This gesture of like, I receive for my heart. And then just walk your hands over to the left for a side stretch here. As the hands walk over to the left, drop your right hip. Just feel those ribs and the spaces between the ribs gently opening. Inhale here, exhale, walk the hands over to the right, to the left, dropping the right hip. If I've gone a different way to you, I'm sorry. From my heart. It's feeling the spaces between your ribs spreading and gently releasing. Inhale here, exhale, come back to center. Just resting in child's pose. Okay, so from child's pose, let's grab your blocks, come back on up, and bring yourself into supported fish once more. 2 blocks, one behind the shoulders, sort of where the bra strap would be, and one behind the head. And your legs can be in any position that affords you space and ease and comfort. Excuse me. And as you relax here in supported fish, just imagine that the spines, the defense mechanisms of the body, are just softening behind you so you can let go a little more. We all have these defense mechanisms in place. Lots of them are unconscious. We put these up in order to avoid feeling hurt in our heart. It's very wise to remember that when others hurt us, most of the time we can ask the question, why have they hurt us? And that answer is because they were doing the best that they could. The reality is that most of the hurt that we endure is unmeant. It is still hurt. That's not to take away from the fact that it's painful. And we should respect that inside of ourselves. But to know that most of the hurt that we endure is unmeant is useful, because we can start to appreciate that it's not usually personal. What in fact we are usually feeling when we experience unmeant hurt are the prickles of someone else's wounding, the prickles of someone else's defense mechanisms. They hurt us because they are doing the best they can. So mostly I feel that we are mostly hurt by each other's defense mechanisms, and many of these are unconscious, and this creates a large amount of unmeant hurt for all of us. So it is good from time to time if we can soften our spines. Imagine that you are the echidna here lying on this block, and your prickles are softening. Your need to defend yourself is softening. We already have this essential structure of the ribs to protect the heart. And quite often when we couple this rib cage with the spines of our own defense mechanisms, our heart gets a little bit squashed in there. And we interrelate with others through a closed, squashed, small heart. And maybe others experience our prickles instead of our heart. And maybe that is painful for them. So we release the prickles of our unconscious defense mechanisms, and we soften the rib cage, knowing that we are adequately protected. And the heart starts to soften and expand inside of us. And this brings more love and harmony and peace into our relationships. Inhale here, you guys. As exhale, release, come out of that, whatever way works. And then lying on your back, bring the block or a block between your thighs again. And create some stability between your thighs and in your belly, and lift your pelvic floor. And we're just going to twist the legs now to the left, back to center, to the right, and back to center. Move with your breath. Use the core of your body to support this twisting action. And your hands can be in a wide T shape if you've got room, or on your belly, or in a cactus shape if that's good for your body. And you can feel sometimes when you do this how this rotation, this twist of the legs creates an opening through the shoulders, around the heart, through the ribs. You're squeezing that block to create that stability through the lower body that tells the heart that it is safe. I am standing firm and strong on the earth, or I am strong in my legs. I know we're not on the earth. And don't let this movement create any unnecessary tension through your shoulders. Let this movement facilitate opening in your shoulders. When you come back to center, release the block. And now bring your rolled up mat, or your rolled up towel, or your rolled up blanket underneath your shoulders horizontally. And around, it's like the tips of the shoulder blades really. And this time we're going to cactus your arms so your elbows are bent and in line with your shoulders. And just allow yourself to take a chest opener over the rolled up mat or towel. I'll try to put some pictures up just to illustrate these longer holds, because we are here for a little bit longer and they are super good. They illustrate to me perfectly that the only way to open is to soften. And we have to develop the strength over time that tells us we are safe to soften. It's an entire process, really, opening the heart, of strengthening, trusting, releasing, more strengthening, feeling strong enough so that we can open. And from here you should feel this beautiful expanse through your collarbones and through the area, the fronts of your shoulders. It's another area of the body where we tend to close around the heart. We pull the shoulders forward around the heart. And you can really see this in children when they reach a certain age where they become self-conscious and more defensive. The shoulders start to pull forward. It's very rare to see a toddler with this kind of patterning in their body. Breathe deep into this stretch. Facilitate an opening that happens from the breath. Inhale here, you guys. Exhale. Draw your arms together as if you're in one of those weights machines. So it's like you're squeezing the forearms together, and then come off of that rolled up towel or mat or blanket. Grab your 2 blocks again for your third and final supported fish. I think this posture would be in my top 10, as is illustrated by this session. Facilitate the opening of the body and the softening of the heart through the quality of your breath. And you can start to imagine as you breathe white light now running through your body, clearing out any stuck energy, any stagnation, any unnecessary holding, softening our defense mechanisms, strengthening the essential structures that protect, strengthening the essential boundaries. We recognize in this practice, I feel, that there is a need for these essential structures, that this experience of opening the heart shouldn't make us feel naked and vulnerable in that way. We need these essential structures to hold us so that we feel safe enough to open. We recognize through this practice that there are also these non-essential structures that we place around ourselves. Unnecessary, unnatural even, defense mechanisms. That are born of our wounding, that can feel like spikiness to others, prickles to others. We use this practice to, as best we can, soften all of this. We use this practice as best we can to strengthen what is essential. To bring suppleness and ease and understanding to what is essential. And then we can internally move through these essential structures into that soft and vulnerable place inside of ourselves and feel very safe to be there. My teacher also has said to me many times, Julie, only share your vulnerability with the people who you can trust. Only share your vulnerability with those who deserve your vulnerability. This, I also feel, is very wise. In the process of opening our heart, we do feel vulnerable. And this can be a completely internal process that we do not need to feel an obligation to share. And if we are guided to share the fragility and vulnerability of our heart on these deep, deep, deep levels, then we are right to be careful in who we share this with, because this is precious. Beautiful. From here, you guys, gently bring yourself in whatever way works back off your blocks. Slowly, slowly, you've been there quite some time. And come on to all fours. And take your left arm and just thread your left arm underneath your right arm and come down to lie on your left cheek for a thread the needle twist. In this twist, I like to keep the right palm of my hand on the ground and my elbow lifted a little towards the ceiling, and I apply a very slight pressure here just to facilitate more opening through that back door of the heart. And that is nice, but maybe not for you. Find what facilitates that opening for you. And add breath. Above all else, facilitate the opening of your outer body and essential structures from this deep internal place. It's happening from the inside out. You're bringing that softness inside of you to the surface. Bringing that softness inside of you through the layers of the body for yourself, for your own healing. And for your own freedom. Beautiful. From there, unravel your twist. You guys come back to all fours and stay up on all fours. Keep your legs where they are. Walk your hands forward and start to drop your chest for a cat stretch here. So your hips are in line with your knees and you're just dropping through the chest, stretching through the chest. Breathing as you go. And coming back to all fours, we're going to take the right hand, I believe, and thread it under your left arm. dropping down onto your right cheek for that thread the needle twist on the other side. Inhale here, exhale, unravel yourself, you guys. Drop back now. Oh, excuse me, take another cat stretch if you want it, or you can drop back into child's pose. Breathing into that back door of the heart that is accessible. When we soften the spines of our defense mechanisms. Why, why did they hurt me? Because they were doing the best they could. Why did I hurt them? Because I was doing the best I could. It's a line by Ian Brown I love it. It's just simple. It's just forgive everybody and remember for everything a reason. And when we forgive everybody, we must include ourselves. We were doing the best we could. Okay, you guys, so from child's pose, let's make our way down to lie on the tummy. And take your arms here into a nice wide T shape. I like to have a block handy because it feels better for me to have my head on a block when I do this next stretch. So maybe keep a block handy here. And basically this next stretch, we're just going to roll towards your right arm. So you're sort of rolling over onto the shoulder towards the right arm, and this is intense, so move slowly. And it may well be that the soles of your feet come to the mat. It's very difficult to describe. It's like a twisted bridge almost. And the soles of the feet support this opening. If you're used to this stretch, you can always take your... So we're twisting to the right, I suppose, and we can take the left hand up and over and interlace the hands. And at this point, I like to take the block and just put it under my head so my neck isn't cramming into my shoulders so much. And staying here and breathing, facilitating the stretch with the breath. You know, and feel everything that there is to feel here. Set your intention to be in full awareness of your experience, full awareness of yourself. In part 2 of this practice I spoke about unmeant hurt and defense mechanisms and forgiving ourselves. And this is good. But we don't forgive ourselves to let ourselves off the hook and be lazy. We forgive ourselves because that is done. And then we move into the next posture, the next stretch, the next thing in our lives with that awareness of, okay, how can I do better next time? And this makes our heart shine. This intention to keep seeing ourselves, keep seeing our spikes and our prickles. Forgive that because it was the best we could do, but now what can we do now that we've seen that inside of ourselves? Inhale here, exhale, roll out of that slowly, you guys. And then roll to the other side. If this stretch is eluding you because it's not visual, feel really welcome to take whatever stretch that we've taken previously that felt good in your body. So just make this section of the class up if you like. Well, just this pose. I think the rest are pretty straightforward. How can I do better next time? How can I do better at describing this twist? Okay, well for me, I'm on my left arm, so I'm rolling towards my left shoulder, and there's a deep opening here through the front of the shoulder, and my anatomy is not great, but it's like that outer pectoral muscle is stretching, and I'm using my feet to support this twist. It doesn't really matter where the feet get to in the end. For some of us, not for me, but I've seen friends of mine who can do this. For some of us, you can bring both feet to the mat and lift the hips even, if your shoulders are that open. For me, I'm blessed to be very stiff through my shoulders, so I don't need to work quite that hard to find the twist. It may be for many of us that you just begin to roll towards that shoulder and you go, that'll do, and you feel that you've barely moved. That is perfect and fine. Whatever position you find yourself in, facilitate an opening through your breath. Facilitate the opening of the essential structures of your body through this internal place, this internal awareness. This makes the practice very personal and very safe. Inhale here, exhale, release that. And then slowly, hopefully you're taking lots of time to come out. When you're out of this, slowly find a way that is respectful to your body to press yourself up to kneeling. And just take a moment. You might want to kneel on a block if your knees are tight. Just in full awareness of yourself. It's this thing, how do I do better next time? I develop and hone and nourish and nurture my sense of self-awareness. It's through this sense of self that we become conscious And the more conscious we become, the less likely it is that we will hurt another being through our unconscious self-defense mechanisms. So ironically, it's how do I do better for everyone else? I tap deeply into my own heart, my own self, my own consciousness. I remain aware, knowing that this awareness is my service to everyone else. It's very beautiful. From here, you guys, bring both of your arms out in front of you, so it's as if you're stretching straight ahead, and wrap your left arm under your right arm for eagle pose with the arms. It's a beautiful shoulder opener and shoulder. It gets right underneath the shoulder blades, this one for me. Once you find that wrap, and maybe your wrap is just kind of making two fists and just crossing the arms, that's enough for some people, but once you find that wrap, drop your chin ever so slightly, find some length through the back of your neck, relax your jaw, and then begin to lift your elbows to a comfortable stretch, and maybe push your arms a little bit forward, and you'll feel this kind of beautiful experience underneath your shoulder blades. What we don't want to do is use the muscles that connect your shoulders to your neck at the front of the body to facilitate this pose. We don't want to wear the shoulders as earrings. We lift the elbows, push the forearms away, and drop the shoulders down. And then we breathe. Create space with the breath. Inhaling here. And exhale, unravel your arms. I've completely forgotten which arm we're on. Hang on. Yeah, I've completely forgotten, you guys. So let's stretch the arms out in front of you. And I think it's right arm under left, I think. But you can play around with the cross of your arms and just find the one that you didn't do before. And take that same pose on the other side, lifting the elbows, pushing the forearms away from you, dropping the shoulders, and flooding this pose with breath. You know, as we work with our self-defense mechanisms, our prickles, unmeant hurt, our pain, the pain that we may have caused, trying to do better, awareness, and we drop deeper and deeper into the heart. We enter into this sanctuary of the heart. And once we get there, we feel that there is actually no need for defense. You know, the heart doesn't distort anything. It gives us only truth. Inhale here, exhale, unravel your arms and just sit with your palms facing upwards for a moment, just dwelling in the center of your heart, you guys. And in this soft, vulnerable place, we realize we are in the strongest possible position. There is no distortion here, there is no confusion, there is only truth. There is only safety, there is only love. all of our defense mechanisms, when we touch this place inside of ourselves, fall away naturally. We're going to take your 2 blocks next and stand them upright on your mat. Space them shoulder space apart. Put them on the high level, you guys. Come onto all fours and take the backs of your upper arms, so above your elbows, to those blocks. Bring your hands in prayer behind your head and drop your head and your chest through. So you're using the blocks to do a supported prayer, shoulder, chest opener here. You're letting the weight of your arms fall into those blocks, and the weight of the strength of your legs is supporting this opening through the chest. So again, we see that pattern, that movement pattern in the body. We'll make a little prayer here as we breathe and stretch and open. A little prayer that we cease to communicate through our wounding, and that as yogis we come into the heart space so that we can sit safely in the center of our heart and access our highest consciousness. How do we do this? We have to get ourselves super safe in the center of our heart, super safe and centered in our awareness. Inhale here, you guys. Exhale, release that, whatever way works. Place your blocks to one side and just take a downward facing dog just to stretch out the arms. Open up the back a little bit. If you are just doing this section of the practice as a standalone, you're going to need to do 1 and 2 so you know what the heck I'm talking about. Or maybe you're more evolved than that and you're just with me. If you are, I bow to your consciousness and evolution and your ability to be in your heart. Okay, release your downward facing dog. Just come to sit on the mat. Grab 1 block, lie down on your back, place the soles of your feet to the mat, bend your knees and lift your hips, and place your block underneath your sacrum for a supported bridge here. And even in this posture, if you allow this stability and heaviness to happen through the hips, so there's this releasing into the block, and that makes, the more we can heavy into the blocks, the more stable they become. The more we can heavy into them, the more stable they become. So when we're doing these supported practices, the more we can let go, the stronger the foundation. And as we release the hips here, as much as possible into the block, there's this feeling, for me, this feeling of unraveling through the front of my spine, and my hips release and my heart starts to blossom and open. So from that support in the lower body, the heart begins to blossom. It's like when the lower chakras are balanced and safe and secure, the heart can open and blossom. When we're in fear, we're in survival, and this rocks the lower chakras, overworks and overburns the lower chakras, and keeps us from accessing the heart. It's very interesting patterning for me to watch that play out with people. And when we neglect and overwork the lower chakras and stay in these states of fear and self-defense, ironically, it's a vicious circle, because we can't feel safe, and we can't feel truth, and we can't feel clarity, because we can't find the heart of the matter. So let your lower body release and bring your awareness into your fully expanded and conscious heart space. Inhale here, you guys. Exhale, move the block out of the way, lift the hips, and unravel back to the mat. It's quite a long way down, in fact. And you can take a couple of supine twists here if that feels good for your body. It's letting the knees drop one way and then the other way in your own time. And coming back to center when you're ready. I'm just going to come up briefly for a very brief meditation. I come to seated position. We're going to come into the Abhaya Hridaya Mudra. Abhaya is fearless. Hridaya is that center heart space. Mudra is seal. So this means the fearless heart seal. So we start off in Anjali Mudra. So your hands are at prayer position at your heart. And then cross your hands over so your palms face outward. Make sure that your left arm is lying nearest to your heart here. So you're crossing the hands, the palms face outwards in prayer position with the left arm nearest the heart. Now wrap your index fingers, your third fingers, and your little fingers. I'll say that again. Wrap your index finger, so your pointer finger, your third finger, so count your fingers 1, 2, 3, wrap those, and your little finger. Yeah. And now join your thumb and ring finger. So you're creating this seal, this mudra. And bring this seal to the base of your heart. And from the base of your heart, extend your body into a really solid, comfortable, steady seat. And just feel that stability supporting your heart, and your heart also supporting that stability here. A fearless heart seal. This mudra gives us the courage to open the heart, to soften the heart, to expand the heart, and to keep it that way as best we can. Takes a lot of courage. And to support this, we're going to chant the bija mantra YAM, Y-A-M, the seed sound of the heart. Sing this to and from your heart space. So it's not an exercise in projection, it's an exercise of introspection and self-nourishment. Inhaling when you're ready. Yam. 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 If your heart is very tender and a little bit shy about singing out loud, just sing this mantra inside of yourself. And you can feel the vibration of my voice as if it is your own. Yam. 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 Let's take a moment internally, feeling that mantra Yam, Yam, Yam in the heart. And feeling your heart fully protected by the essential structures of yourself. But not caged in any way. Feeling your heart a little bit freer, a little bit more expansive. Release the mudra, you guys, and you can just sit in meditation for as long as you like. You can take a quiet shavasana, or you can take the guided meditation that I will be including in this practice. Go deep into the center of your heart and ask your heart what it wants. All your answers are there, all the strength that you need is there, all the protection that you need is there. From my heart to your heart, so much love today. Namaste. So beginning to bring your awareness to your chest area, your heart chakra, and imagining a green light. A green light swirling like a whirlpool. Swirling green light. And just noticing how it feels. Noticing how it looks in your mind's eye. And just getting a sense of how it is functioning. Can you feel any tingling, small sensations? And observing what thoughts are there. What thoughts are coming. As you look at this green light. Just noticing the thoughts. And come back to the green light. Notice if it is swirling and moving, or if it is still. Is it slow? Is it fast? At what speed does it move? Is it a small light or a big enlarged light? Is watching the green light get bigger as it spins. Breathing out, letting go. And breathing in, and as you breathe in, visualize yourself breathing in emerald green light into your chest. With every breath, you pull in more light. And softly, slowly and steadily, your heart fills with this green light. It starts to spread down into your arms and hands. It moves down into your pelvis, your legs, and your toes, filling your entire body. Whole body now, flooded with the green light of the heart. And bring your awareness back to your chest. And in the center of the green light, visualize a soft pink rosebud. Now allow this rosebud to open slowly, petal by petal. A soft pink flower surrounded by green light with a golden yellow center. Know you are safe as you open through your heart center to give and receive love. As you sit with this green and pink light, they bring you love, compassion, forgiveness, an open heart. And as you breathe out, the pink light heals your heart and dissolves all fear. Feel the pink soft glow slowly envelop you. Breathe it in and release to it any tension. You are loving, you are lovable, you are loved. Allow these words into your heart. You are loving, you are lovable, you are loved. Breathe out all tension. Bring your attention back to your chest center, to the green light of the heart. Visualize the light getting smaller. With your intention, you bring it down in size. And even though the light is smaller, it is still as bright, still as alive. Bring the green light of your heart now down to about the size of a fairy light. And allow this light to be absorbed by the heart. Feel your heart chakra functioning beautifully now. Beautiful heart, ready to receive your beautiful, beautiful life. The lights are green, and you're good to go.